Okay, hello everybody. I'm going to show you in this video today how to make a GIF where a cutout element moves through the artwork. The inspiration that we're kind of drawing from is this work here, where you've got this nice painting and you've got these painted figures on a motorbike going through. So we're going to approximate something like that. There's actually two different ways that we can do this. We can do it with Photoshop or After Effects. So we're actually going to go through and do it with both real fast, just to check it out. So let's go ahead and get started in After Effects. I've got it booted up here. We're going to go to New Project. Let's see, I'm going to upload a video kind of showing a little bit about the After Effects layout, although hopefully we've covered it in class. But in any case, you want to go ahead and click on this new composition here, and then leave everything as the default and just click OK. And now we've got a new composition to work with. We've got our timeline down here, and then this is kind of our canvas. We can see the magnification over here, so we're actually going to go to Fit to Screen, which is at about 82%. Okay, I'm going to bring that down to 50. Okay, so now we have to import the images that we'll be using. So we're going to use this lovely ocean backdrop as our background. So what I just did is I clicked from Finder and I dragged it here into this project window. You can see up here it says project. So I dropped it in again, so actually I have two now. Try to delete it. Okay, so here we go. So I just have this one, and now I'm going to click and drag from the project window over here to this composition window. You can see that it's going to be very large, so I'm going to back down the zoom down to 6%, and then I'm going to grab the little square here, this little anchor, and move it in. You can see that it's not going proportionally, so I'm going to hold down Shift, and that's going to snap it to proportions, the correct proportions. So I'm going to zoom down so it's a little bit closer, and then move it up so we've actually got what we want in frame. Let me zoom in a little bit here. There we go. And then we've got our nice ocean backdrop. And now I would like a turtle to move across it. So we've got a turtle here. I've already cut it out. So we're going to click and drag it from the Finder into this project window. Once we have it in the project window, we're going to click and drag it over to the composition window. And then again, we're going to zoom out a little bit, excuse me, and resize this down, hold Shift to keep it proportional. And then we've got these two images here. You can also see down here that it started timeline layers for both of these objects. So we have the timeline for the background, which is highlighted when I click the background, and then just so we can select the turtle. You can also see the turtle is selected when we, the turtle layer is selected when we click the turtle. So I'm going to leave this background where it is, although it's giving me a little bit of trouble now about clicking things that are kind of covering, that it's covering up. So what I just did over here was I hit this lock icon. Excuse me. And that just means that I basically can't select it. And that lets me select my turtle here. So I want the turtle to move from the right hand of the screen over to the left. So with the timeline slider here all the way to the left at the start, I'm just going to move this off screen. And then I'm going to go move the slider up to about 10 seconds. And then I'm going to move it up here to the other side of the screen. So basically it's going to come from off screen and kind of wander off here and go off screen again. Let's see, I did not activate the keyframes though, which is why nothing happened. So I'm going to set that back there. And what you're going to do is you're going to go over to the layer here, and you see this little arrow. You want to click it to expand the tab. It's going to say transform, and you're going to click it again. And then you have all these little stopwatches. So I'm actually going to click the stopwatch for position, which turns on the keyframing. So this basically means every time that you move it, it's going to create a new keyframe and remember where you moved this particular element to. So it's already started a little diamond. A diamond means the keyframe. So we've got a diamond down here. So that's just basically saying the first keyframe is this image over here to the right off screen. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to drag the slider over here to about 10 seconds. And then we're going to move this element up to the opposite corner. And you can see now we've got a little line of motion happening here. So we've got that line of motion. We've got these two different keyframes that have started. And if you move this back, you'll see that the turtle is now moving. If you click somewhere else to kind of deselect and then hit spacebar, you can see it kind of go there in real time. Very exciting. We're going to jazz it up just a little bit, though. We'll click on that turtle, and let's make him wiggle a little bit. So maybe he comes in, and he's up here a little bit. So I'm just clicking and dragging him a little bit while the timeline is in the middle, or the slider's in the middle. And then I'll move him out a little bit more, move the slider out a little bit more. So when he's about halfway, I want him to go down again. And then when he's a little bit more on his way, let's just have him go all the way up into the sky. And then as he goes out, maybe he takes one last dip before he goes out. So now you can see this kind of path of motion is a lot curvier. So let's move the slider back to the beginning. Click somewhere else to deselect all of the elements. And then we're going to hit spacebar again to see this all play out. So now we have this nice smooth motion of the turtle. He's bobbing a little bit. And there he goes off screen. Hi, turtle. Thank you. Okay. So that's how you create these images in this animation in After Effects. You also want to save this project, of course. Let me go ahead and save it here as turtle flying. There we go. .aep's After Effects project. And once you're done, we'll go over how to save this in a bit, in another video or in class. But for now, let's go ahead and just save this and close out After Effects. Close out this file. So I'm also going to show you how to do this in Photoshop, because if you can see here, this image that we have, it's a little bit choppy. It's not quite that smooth motion that we got from the turtle. So let's go ahead and do that in Photoshop real fast. So we've got Photoshop, so let me open up my two files. So again, I've got my turtle, and I've got my background. I'm going to size these down to about 900 wide. So I went to image and then image size. And this is just because some of these images are quite large, and once you get animation into it, it can start to choke up the computer. My computer's a little slow, so just keep things snappy. I'll make these a bit smaller. And then this turtle as well. Let's size him down. So I've got the background picture here. I'm actually going to go to the turtle picture and click on the Move tool, which is the top tool here. And then I'm going to click and drag him over to the canvas, to the background. And you can see here he is quite big, but he kind of comes with these little anchor points right when you drop him in. So I'm going to bring that down. If he's going out of the correct proportion, go ahead and hit Shift. To keep the right proportion. Depends on the Photoshop version. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. And I'm going to make him a more regular size. So there we go. I have my turtle on my background. Close the turtle file. And then I'm going to save this as well as on my desktop here as turtle fly 2. Okay, so there we go. I will label my layer turtle. You always want to label your layers. It's very helpful. And then I'm going to basically do the same motion that I did before. So I want them to be a little bit off screen here, kind of to start. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my timeline. So I'm going to go to Window here and then come down to Timeline and click on Timeline. And then I'm going to create this button called Create Video Timeline. And then I'm going to go down to this bottom left-hand corner where these 3 squares are and click on that. And that's going to give us the interface that we want to use. So basically, here's the timeline. Here's the first frame, and we're going to fill up this whole bar with frames. So right now, the turtle is off screen. So we're going to create some new slides, some new frames here. I'll create a whole bunch. And on this last frame, we'll just move him right up there. So if you click on the last frame, you can see he's up here. If you click on the first frame, you can see he's down here. So now we're actually going to ask the computer to tween this, which just basically means create all of those in-between frames. So we're going to click on the first frame and then hold down Shift, and then click on the last frame to highlight everything. And then down here, there's kind of a little bouncing ball icon, and you want to click on that, and that's just going to say tween everything in these frames. So we've gone ahead and tweened it. And the other thing to know about this timeline area is basically it's going to hover on each of these frames for as long as you specify. 5 seconds is way too long, so we're going to click on that and then bring it down to 0.1 seconds. And if all of them are highlighted, they will all change. So let's go ahead and click on the play icon here to see how this looks. And you can see here we've got now a very similar style of kind of choppy animation, very close to this, of an image moving through the painting. You can slow it down or speed it up. I'm going to slow it down just a smidge, so I'm making it 0.2 seconds instead. And there we go. We get a nice option there for him moving across the screen. So once you're happy with it, you want to go ahead and save it again. And then you want to go to File, and then Export, and then Save for Web Legacy. You'll get this screen here. You want to change the export to GIF 128 dithered. We don't need any transparency, so we're going to uncheck that. And then if you come down here, you can actually see some options for your animation. So we want it to loop forever, so we're going to keep that selected. And then we're going to hit play just to check one more time that it looks good. That's what we want. So we'll stop, and then we'll save it back to the desktop as turtlefly2.gif. And we're saved. So I'll save this and then close it and go back to our desktop. And then we can see here that we've got our turtlefly2.gif file. So that's how you do that particular kind of GIF. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, please shoot me an email. And then there's some attributions coming up in a second for the artwork that we used in this video. Okay, thank you so much. Bye-bye.